Hello. Welcome to my channel, guys. This is Sevilla, I love. And here on this channel, we're getting back to living and loving life again after a major life-altering loss, such as being widowed. Now, there's a lot of people on this channel that are dating widows, and they are hungry for information about how to navigate this land. And it's also a territory for the widows or widowers themselves to wonder, how do I start over? How do I do this again? And so here's some things that you may not know about your widow that you are in love with or that you're dating, and that you should know so you can be prepared for this possibility. Now, what I want to say from the outset before we dig into these topics is that not every widow is the same. Not every widower is going to respond in the way that I may be talking about tonight. So what you need to understand is that this information I'm giving is for widowers who are choosing to start over, who are admittedly ready and still navigating that land, okay? And they may be doing that with you. If you are the object of their affection, then these are some things you need to be prepared for. And also, I'm going to give you some very vulnerable disclosure about what happened for me when I was a new widow and beginning to date again. So what I want to say to you is that if the widow you're with is turning their strong affections towards you and truly into you, they probably love you more than you love them. And I'm going to tell you why, okay? So when you've had a loss, such as your life partner, this is a different loss than any other kind. This isn't the same as the loss of a child, which is probably devastating beyond all imaginings. That's the only loss I have not had. However, your life partner is someone that you share everything with. You wake with them in the morning, you go to bed with them at night, you argue with them, you make love with them, you have all of your future plans together. And even with your children you raise for a time, and then you hopefully are able to set them off on their own. Now you remain in relationship with them, and you remain in a mentorship role to them if you have a good relationship. But always the goal is for them to go off on their own. A partner the goal is to always stay together. And so when that separation happens, that sense of self is completely destroyed for a period of time. Now, when that person is ready to get back to living and loving life again, and you come into their lives, they have some special talent. If they are very aware, okay, if they're an aware person, they have a special talent to bring to the relationship that very few other people can bring you. And that is an acute sense of really, truly appreciating and cherishing every tiny little infinitesimal stupid thing that you do. And here's why. When you lose someone you love, when you lose your life partner, the 50 things that irritated you about them, pissed you off, made you lose sleep at night, are the things that you actually would do anything to have back again, knowing that you never can. And what this trauma does for the aware person is make them realize how vitally important all of those dumb little things were about the person. Now, especially if they have any regret about not being more present in the relationship because they missed out on so many things. They're going to be missing those dumb little things that they did. The way they didn't do the dishes properly, or how they blew their nose really loud and irritating, or how they were always 15 minutes late to everything they did. Now, you may have spent 30 years complaining about it, but here you are missing it. And now, as the widow is ready to love again, she's seeing that in you. Now, I'm falling in love with this guy, and he does this really irritating thing I just don't love. But what if I fall in love with this guy? Or what if I'm already feeling like I'm in love with this guy? Was this something that I would miss if he died too? Because they're always thinking that. A widow is always thinking that. What happens if this person died too? And so this is what brings that acute appreciation for the tiniest things that you do. You will never be cherished and loved as much as you can be by your beloved who has been widowed. Now, I know there's a lot of you out there that have gotten the short stick in a relationship with a widow. You have gotten turned away and rejected by your widower because those people weren't ready. And these are not the ones I'm speaking to. The ones I'm speaking to are the ones who are truly trying to start over again. And they're going to love bomb you, and not necessarily in a negative way, but you may feel at times overwhelmed. And so my next thing I'm going to share with you is my bit of disclosure when I was dating and what happened to me. Now, if you like these videos, please like it, subscribe to my channel, and please put a comment below. Share your own story. I would love to hear your thoughts. I love hearing from our listeners and our viewers. So what I did when I was dating was I met this guy and I just fell head over heels for him. Now, he was coming out of a divorce himself, and so he was going through his own loss in a different way. And he was still kind of going through a lot of it. And for me, I had been widowed, and I met this guy. I really just so into him. He brought so many new things to my life. I was so excited to be able to experience these new things with this new person. And I completely overwhelmed this guy to the point that he literally ghosted me. He ghosted me. And what I remember having conversations with him, and I was just appreciating him so much. And I said, oh my gosh, I can't believe, I'm like, you're alive. I'm like, can you believe it? I'm like, you're alive. I'm talking to a live human being on the other phone that I have respect, admiration, and desire for. Isn't that amazing? And he's like, oh yeah, that's pretty cool. I would completely overwhelm this guy. He dumped me. He totally dumped me. And it was just painful. It was painful. And so I was so raw and so vulnerable at that time. It truly destroyed me for some time, getting ghosted like that. But the thing is, I was just too much for him, and for whatever other reasons he had that he chose to step away, which were his, and I never knew what they were. But I did know my piece of it, and that I was completely overwhelming. And so this is a common thing, and I share this about myself because it's something that can be expected from many different people who have come out of a traumatic loss. Now, there's widows who have, nursed husbands for long periods of time who were tragically ill, men that had taken care of their wives through long periods of dementia. There were people that had a traumatic sudden loss. One day they had a wife or a husband, and the next day they didn't. And so all of that time gives them this opportunity to say, God, I loved being in love. I didn't appreciate the things that I had when I had them, or I loved having those things in my life so much, I want to have them again. And so when they do get them again, they are so excited to have it because it feels intense. It's like being in a desert and getting this glass of water of love. It's a water of love. And so I have a lot of people that come to me and say, this person is really wonderful. And I feel like, am I walking on glass here? When's the other shoe going to drop? Because they're so awesome. And the thing is, they're just love bombing you in this wonderful way because they know what they lost. And I can't describe to you enough. I was sitting the other day, and this is where I wanted to talk about this with you. I was looking at my fiance, and I just got big hearts in my eyes, and my heart got big, and he looks at me, he's like, what? He's like, what? I said, I just love you so much. I mean, all the little things that you do, I just truly adore. And he was just sitting on the bed with his computer doing whatever, and he said something that was very typically him. And I had this great acute appreciation for that. And I thought, I really want to share this out because, like I said, I hear so many people talk about, is this too good to be true? Is this person really this fabulous? And so if you get a good one like that, don't freak out. Now, the intensity will calm over time, but if you like this person and they seem truly wonderful, I want to encourage you to give love a chance with this widower, because they may still be going through the trauma of their loss. Actually, that lasts a lifetime, but it does get better and it does become less intense. So if you're finding someone with these wonderful qualities who's just adoring you on so many levels, and you're like, what the heck? I've never been loved like this before. What's going on? Just soak it in, accept it, take it, and cherish that. And know that they actually might be able to love you more acutely, more intensely than you can love them right now, unless you've been through a similar type of loss. Okay? That doesn't mean you're not going to appreciate and love every little thing about them too, but they're looking at you every time going, God, she's really irritating me right now, but what if I lost her tomorrow? Wouldn't I miss that? Wouldn't I miss that she doesn't do the dishes very well? Might not miss it, but I would miss it because she's not here to screw the dishes up anymore. Right? She's not here to always go left when I say go right. And they're going to think of it in the context of, what if I lost you? Would I miss this? And so, allow yourself to be loved. Allow yourself to be appreciated. And for those of you that out there that are watching this video, that have had your heart broken by a widow or a widower, just know that they're not all ready to love again. They're not all capable or conscious enough of themselves. They have not processed their pain or been able to look at themselves from an objective perspective to really consciously work through that pain so they can truly be there, present, and love someone else. They may just be jumping from person to person, trying to cover up their pain and not really addressing it. And so for those of you that is your story, I send my heart out to you, and not to give up hope, that there is love for you out there, even if it's not with this particular widower that you had your heart set on, because that person's not ready. But for those of you who do get the good ones, give them a chance. Give yourself time to be open to that love, and allow them to teach you why that intensity of love is so valuable, so important, and allow yourself to just dive right in when it's truly safe to do so. If you have any concerns, I do private coaching sessions with clients for Alaska residents. I do therapy, and so you can find more about me in the description on this video. So please take very good care. Know that you're more wonderful, you're more precious, you're more beautiful, and you're more valuable than you can possibly imagine. So never give up on love. Never give up hope. It's out there for you. Take good care.